Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Movie News. I am joined, as always, with John. Yes. And John, have we got a show tonight? Jennifer Hudson in a Franklin movie. It's Respect. I didn't know this was coming, knew nothing about this, and we have just watched the teaser trailer.
We have indeed.
So what was your thoughts on it, John? We're not doing a trailer reaction on this. Didn't think it merited one. Always struggle with musical ones, try to do reactions for them, because they're pretty straightforward.
That Rocket Man trailer was pretty sensational.
Yeah, that was pretty
Yes. It was a very good movie, wasn't
theatrical, wasn't it? But
yes.
Before I get your thoughts, John, the film follows Franklin's life from singing in her father's church to becoming one of the most legendary musicians of all time, which is pretty much what we expected. Liesl Tommy is in the director's chair for this film. I'm not sure who that is, John. I don't know if you do.
She directed Jessica Jones, Stephen, and a couple of episodes of The Walking Dead last year, so she's very much a green-nosed director, but she's been given this opportunity to work with a superb cast, a superb leading actor.
I'm just going to run through a few of the cast members. John Forrest Whitaker, Marlon Wayans.
Counting nearly went down there.
Audra McDonald, Queen Latifah, Mary J. Blige, Mark Maron, Tate Donovan and Titus Burgess, John. But I said to you, I actually watched it a lot earlier, and I said it had the same kind of qualities as the Ray Charles biopic back in 2005, 2004, can't remember when it was. It was a long time ago, but it had that same kind of quality to it.
Kanye wasn't such a dislikable scrote of a man, and he was working with Jamie Foxx, so it would have been 2004-05, round about then. You're right, Stephen. That was when obviously Mr. Fox was doing his whole dive into acting. I think he'd worked in the acting game prior to that, but it's when I became aware of him. And it was a sort of biopic going through the sort of turbulent times of Ray Charles' life, obviously dealing with blindness and whatnot. This looks as though it's doing the same thing.
Yeah,
and
struggles,
the struggles of this amazing singer. I was about to say musician. She may have played instruments. I know of her lots of her more mainstream songs. I'm not aware of her album numbers and whatnot, but she was an incredible voice. Obviously, sadly passed away fairly recently, I'm pretty sure, Aretha. But Jennifer Hudson, she's worked on the likes of Dreamgirls and whatnot, and again, that's a sort of... No, I don't know if it's a biopic, but it's delving into similar sort of themes where it's this soul group trying to traverse the United States in the mid-60s, early 60s, racial intolerance and whatnot, trying to chart and become a successful group. She also won an Oscar for her role in that movie, and it was quite early on in her career. She's since blossomed into quite the actor. She can sing, I presume, because she did work in, I think, Sing as well, that animated, I think you says, movie. I've never actually seen it. You've seen it in the likes of Sandy Wexler and whatnot as well. Looks like an inspired choice to play Aretha Franklin. She just got that sort of charisma on screen. You watch her, and it's how you would presume Aretha would have been back in those days. She
hard act to follow, John.
Charisma, it is indeed.
So she's obviously filling big shoes, but she's one of these artists, Aretha Franklin, very much like Roy Orbison, a very unique voice. Someone with, if they're going to actually get an actor in to do the performing, it's going to be some achievement, But the other thing I got from the trailer was, John, apart from obviously the sort of personal life and the career side of things, was there seems to be a social message in there as well. There was a line in there, I think, where she wanted to be addressed as Miss Franklin rather than her first name. So I don't know if obviously the trailers, the film's title as well gives us a clue. Respect is obviously a bit of a social clue in there, I think, as well. I don't know about what you thought about that, John, but there's certainly undertones in there.
Yeah, it's dabbling with the whole civil rights movement, Stephen. Obviously in the 1960s, blacks been treated horrifically in the States, systemic racial intolerance. And it seems to be diving into that. It also seems to be diving into a lack of success at the start of her career. Yeah. She speaks with another artist and she asks her, how many albums or records have you had out? She says 4 with no hits. And obviously we then hear the notes of R-E-S-P-C-T, respect and whatnot. And you're right, Stephen, I think the fact that they're hammering home the respect song and the lyrics of that, just a big showman-like performance.
It's got a double meaning, isn't it?
Yeah, she's standing right in the middle of the stage with respect behind her. There's sort of, you're right, it's like a double entendre, hidden meanings going on there. And I mean, some would say it's on the nose, but look, it isn't, because this is what she lived and breathed.
Yeah.
It's what a lot of black artists lived and breathed in the United States. The likes of Jimi Hendrix had to come over to the United Kingdom.
We were only talking about that yesterday, John. Yeah,
to build up recognition, and build
Isle
a
of
career
Wight
for himself.
Festival, yeah.
And then he could get back to the States as a sort of known name. They had to come over here.
That's why Little Richard and that were in Germany, for the biggest part of
Beatles,
the 1960s, John. But you're right.
They couldn't get any respect, Stephen.
Now, John,
pardon the pun.
Is it a film you would watch?
Yeah, probably would, yeah. Stephen, I like the sort of biopic and musical movies. I loved Bohemian Rhapsody to an extent that it's glossed over some issues with Freddie Mercury, Frederick.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I think it was Dexter Fletcher and Bryan Singer.
Yeah.
Worked in conjunction on that. Well, we didn't work in conjunction. One worked, got sacked because of some dodgy stuff going on.
Yeah.
And the other one stepped in and saved the movie.
Yeah.
It went on to win an Oscar. We've seen great musical biopics over the years. I like the Doors one, I think 93 or something.
Val Kilmer, yeah.
Val Kilmer, fantastic as well. We've seen some other, we've seen the TV Beatles stuff. It's a little bit low budget, but again, when you delve into these interesting figures.
Brian Wilson as well.
Brian Wilson, yep, you watched that one.
Yeah, Love and Mercy, yeah.
And also Yesterday, to an extent, had that little musical stuff, and it was delving into a what-if scenario. I love musicals when they're handled right, and if you mix it with the biopic element too, then it's usually works magic for me. I usually enjoy it.
As I said, I said at the start of the show, John, I didn't know anything about this film coming out or anything. I don't know if you had any whispers, but certainly we've not covered any of this on Movie News over the last, since we started doing Movie News. Didn't know anything about this.
And I presume C.L. Franklin is perhaps a father, maybe her husband or something, that obviously Forrest Whitaker's playing. But again, another inspired acting choice to come in.
Yeah. Two
really good leading sort of actors in there. And it looks promising, Stephen.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, it is a sort of up-and-coming, fairly fresh-faced director, but that's not going to hold it back, I don't think. You've got the likes of Callie Curry and another writer in there. I think Callie Curry's worked on a whole host of things, the likes of Thelma and Louise and whatnot from back in the day. So, look, it seems to have experience dotted around, slight inexperience in the directing sort of side of things, but I like the look of it, man. I like the feel of the trailer.
Yeah, John, the minute it dropped, I couldn't wait to watch it, and I did. I couldn't wait for you.
Also with Judy as well.
Yeah.
Recently, it's not musical, but again, biopic, and it seemed to go over pretty well. I think, what's her name? I've totally forgot her name. Bridget Jones' Diary actor. She won an Oscar.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she won an Oscar.
I may be wrong. I think she did.
Last year, yeah. For her performance. So if you can handle it right, then you will see success. I will search her name up. It's
bugging you now. But since you're going to do that, John, I am going to move on. But I am certainly looking forward to this biopic. But our next
Zellweger, Steve.
Me, myself, and Irene.
Yes.
John Wick, director, thinks there should be an Oscar for stunt work. Now, this has had a bit of a big positive reaction on social media. I've been following this on Twitter all day when this news dropped. It was in an interview with Discussing Film, Stahelski voiced his support for a stunt work Oscar.
That's a surprise.
Stahelski explained that he thinks there is a good reason to highlight stunt work come Oscar season, but that most stunt people don't do the job for the recognition. Stahelski, full quote from the interview can be read here, and I will read this, John, because it's not that long. I wouldn't bore everyone to tears, but it makes sense on a logical nature that if 9 other departments are awarded Oscars, that yes, a legitimate full-blown department for stunts would be acknowledged or considered. If there's 10 of you and 9 of you are getting a treat, it might sense that at least 10 of you would get a treat too. I think that's a very logistical comment. If wardrobe, hair and makeup, certainly all the creative departments here are considered for Oscars, then yes, it makes perfect sense that stunt department would be considered for an Oscar. Now on a personal level, being a former stuntman, second unit director and all that stuff, for all the generations that were either before me, trained me or current now, I don't know a single person in my 30 years of work that got into stunts to win an Oscar. What's your thoughts on this, John? Before I just hand it over to you, I am totally in agreement with this, but I did think about it later on today, the old traditions of, the illusion of film, and watching the likes of your action heroes, i.e. Arnold Schwarzenegger on that bike, and replacing him with someone that looks nothing like him. And then 20, 30 years later, you digitally remove that guy's face and put Arnold Schwarzenegger's. But
Christopher Lloyd at the end of Back to the Future, when it's clearly some overweight red-faced guy.
Yeah,
it's
they
not
just
Christopher
didn't
Lloyd
bother
at all.
even getting someone that looked like him.
Put a
But
wig on him.
what is your thoughts on this, John? Because I actually agree with the director. I think that they should have recognition. I think it's a lot of preparation goes into this. It's a dangerous career as well. You know, a lot of stunt people have died over the years, you know, when stunts go wrong. And that's probably the only time you actually do hear of them, unfortunately, you know. So what's your thoughts?
Stephen, we've seen it in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the great relationship some leading actors have with stuntmen.
Yeah.
Actually, Cliff Booth and Rick Dalton. Don't know if that's still the case moving into here and now, whether they still have that close
But you
bond.
also get your cycles as well that stunt... What is it?
Stuntman Mike.
Mike, from Death Proof, yeah.
So they're very enigmatic characters, these stuntmen, and he's right what he says. They probably don't do it for fame and attention and adulation and for awards and stuff like that. They are probably more grounded, rugged individuals that do it for the love, the sort of exhilaration of doing these stunts that actors with their pretty faces and their perfectly honed bodies, they won't want to put themselves through. They do it because obviously they love the cause. And we've seen that over the years. I mean, the likes of Chad Stahelski, and I think David, God, what's his name? I'm blanking out so many names tonight, an absolute joke. The man that done Atomic Blonde, and I was just speaking about him fairly recently. It's not David Ayer, it's the other one, but I'll get it at some point, it'll come back to me. But these guys were sort of brought up in the industry around about stunts and choreography and stuff like that, and they transitioned over to directing, and it's a real passion for them. So I can understand that whilst they don't want the adulation, and they don't want the respect, they're still obviously championing it to some extent because they know what it takes to go through and obviously meticulously craft all of these scenes, put your life on the line. In some cases, we've seen a stunt double die, I think, on Fast and Furious most recently. Yeah. Fell off a building and hit his head. So they're risking it all, and I think it's the least they deserve to have some adulation at the end of it all. And he's right in what he says, Stahelski. If you are giving out awards to makeup artists and editors and whatnot, why not the stunt doubles or the stunt men or stunt women, because there's women doing it as well. And it's apparently this goes all the way back to 1991. They were championing for stunt men, women to be given the Oscars or just respect, a little respect. And obviously the Academy's taken it on board, but for some reason it's taken 30 years for them to somehow implement it. It's still not been implemented. We know they are resistant to change, because we had a popular movie or something award and then it get quickly taken away after the backlash. So I don't know if it's just these stuffy old people who watch like dodgy DVD screeners and then complain about all the young people not going and seeing movies. I don't know if it's those types. But if it is, then they really need to get their nuts screwed and get this implemented into the Oscars. He's absolutely right. We should have Oscars in recognition for stunt people. I mean, it's gone, Stephen. What you mentioned about the old days, the sort of trickery, it's gone. No one really believes now that the likes of Tom Cruise does it, but the likes of Chris Evans and whatnot are flying about in motorbikes and whisking through scenes and stuff like that. It's stunt people who are doing it for them.
They're there to carry the actor's load, as it did say, obviously, in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, John. But I thought it was an interesting topic. I thought it was a great debate as well on social media. David Leitch, I was going to say that, but I wasn't sure. It was a great debate on social media today as well. Probably, I would say about 90% of people were actually in agreement with the director, with his views. I think so, John. I think my audio is okay, so you might want to just put that
little graphic up and we'll sort that out and we'll be back.
Yes.
Just if I can. No, I can't. We'll go to that and then we'll go to me, Stephen. That's what we'll do. Hey! We'll quickly sort that out. Switch on the audio and there we go, Stephen. We are hopefully back. There you go. You're looking a little bit smaller than before, but hopefully you're back and you'll remain till the end of the show.
I am so happy to be here and everyone can see me.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah. But
he's really 6 foot, guys. Don't worry about it. He's a very tall chap, is Stephen.
Anthony Mackie, another tall chap, claims the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is like a 6-hour movie, John. Now, that's not anything that we didn't already have in our mindsets with the likes of The Mandalorian, etc. But one of the things I liked about this article, John, before I hand it over to you, is obviously I'm a big fan of Anthony Mackie.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't think I've seen him in a bad movie yet. But also I like the person as well. You know, I've seen him in a few sort of chat shows and, podcasts and stuff like that. And he's a very interesting guy. He's got a good outlook in life as well. You were telling me about his lifestyle, which really interested me. Certainly, if I had his money, I would be doing the same as what he does.
Orleans,
yeah,
and he's got showers that emit tea tree oil when he has a shower.
It's amazing.
What a guy!
Yeah.
What a life he deserves it, Stephen. He's a fantastic actor.
He was actually speaking to Snowpiercer star David Diggs as part of Variety's Actors on Actors series. Now, I actually watched the Jennifer Aniston, Lisa Kudrow one today, which was fantastic, John. I don't know if you've watched any of the series yet, but
I've not.
No. It's very good. But Mackie said we are shooting it exactly like a movie. Everyone who had worked
I have
on
watched that, Stephen. I'm
TV.
talking absolute crap. Paul Rudd and Chris Evans. I was just watching that yesterday.
Yeah. That's right, you had the gauntlet, didn't you?
Yeah.
Everyone who had worked on TV before was like, I've never worked on a TV show like this, obviously previous to this. This is where we're at with television now. You know, big productions, John, and we have been like that probably for the last 7 years or so.
Yeah, 10, I'd say, going right back.
Well, you can go
Game
back
of
to,
Thrones.
probably get back to The Sopranos if you really want to go back, you know, but I think it's at sort of its peak now with the... You know, the finance that's going into these productions now is, you know, nothing short of what any sort of, cinematic film would get the treatment.
Mandalorian was 100 million, I think, $10 million an episode. That's mid to small level movie.
It seems to be, you know, a flip of where we were at 20 years ago with actors. You know, there was a certain snobbery, you know, I think it's fair to say, in regards to TV actors and film actors. Now we don't actually look at it that way. And you mentioned the Mandalorian there, John, with the cast that's in that, all big film stars, you know. That snobbery seems to have, you know, dissipated, you know, and I think we're in a sort of place now where more actors are actually coming round to the fact that they like the sort of scheduling, you know, the work schedule of television work, you know, where they're not on set you know, for months and months, you know, anything up to maybe a year, depending on the production, where they're on location and away from home and stuff like that. It seems to be a different case with television, the process, you know, the way they've got to work very quickly because of, you know, the episodic sort of situation they're in. I did read that on The Mandalorian, you know, they work very, very quickly to get these episodes in the can, if you like. And I think it does appeal to a lot of actors, and I think this is where Mackie's coming from, you know. It's got the feel of a 6-hour movie. That's the way I look, and it's the way I'm going to look at the Obi-Wan series. We talked about it on the Force Friday show yonks ago, where we were saying, I think I posed the question, John, to you, would you prefer a television series or would you prefer an Obi-Wan standalone film? And we both came round to, obviously, the idea of a television series, because you're going to get more time with the character. It's going to be paced differently as well. That was one of the things about The Mandalorian that took me maybe about 3 episodes to get used to, was the pacing of it. I don't know about you, John, but I found it very hard and strange to watch Star Wars in that format. But
it's
I don't want
sitcomish.
I don't want to go off on a tangent and talk about The Mandalorian, but it's really just where we're at with television series now. What's your thoughts?
Stephen, I would speak about The Mandalorian. I think that's probably the best comparison for this because it's on Disney Plus. It's the first sort of big budget TV show to hit Disney Plus. All of these Marvel shows are all hitting Disney Plus, so it kind of connects. And of course, it's going to have ramifications for where Kevin Feige and the MCU are moving.
Yeah.
He's already come out and says if you want to stay up to date and know all of the intricacies and machinations of what's going on in the MCU, then you have to watch these TV shows. That's why I feel so happy when I see the likes of Anthony Mackie speaking about it being a 6 to 8 hour movie, saying things like, I've never worked on a TV show like this. They're all shooting it and it's a movie cut up into various different TV shows. It's the same people coming on board, the same production crew, and they're all working as if it's a big blockbuster MCU movie. So that excites me, that the calibre and the quality is not dropping any, because we've all became accustomed to a certain standard when all of these guys are involved and it's these beloved characters. And if you were to drop the quality even just a little bit, it would be jarring as hell to see it in comparison to the likes of the movies and whatnot. If you're going back and forth from Eternals, Shang-Chi, to maybe Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier and maybe the likes of WandaVision, then it'd put you off. It'd be unnerving to keep watching it and getting back and forth. So I'm happy to see that he's happy about it, and it's something he's never experienced. He's speaking about the quality. Obviously, they are going to say this, Stephen. They are working on it. They're getting paid. They're not going to come out and say this is absolutely shit. It's the worst thing I've ever been a part of in my life. The production level's not even remotely as good as the MCU. I understand they're under contract, but I trust Anthony because he's a trustful guy. He's a honest chap. As you say, he lives some life. He could have gave us up maybe 5 years ago and lived comfortably thereafter. But I think the passion for the character and the passion for the paychecks as well, because they will be getting paid good money. Him and Sebastian Stan is keeping them coming back for more and more and more. I cannot wait to see it, man. I cannot wait to see what the hell the story is going to do. I'm loving the concept of these two villainous characters facing off against obviously Falcon and Bucky. The sort of fake Captain America being supplanted in because they're not quite ready to have a black Captain America yet. Yeah. And obviously this jester sort of figure next to him. And just where it's going to go with these two guys, because we know they bicker like hell. We know they've got great charisma between each other. Off the screen, they're both jokers, very sarcastic. I love the two guys.
It's almost Hobbs and Shaw.
It's like a mismatched buddy meets the MCU. I'm really, really excited to see this. WandaVision, Loki.
John, I was going to ask you that. That was my next question, actually. Out of the three of them, what was the one you were looking forward to the most?
This one, Steve. Yeah. Definitely this one.
I'll be honest, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with WandaVision, just because of what we've been reading.
Crazy.
And it's something that's going to be a pretty unique experience by all accounts.
Evan Peters.
Could
be coming back as Quicksilver in the MCU.
That's amazing, and getting the likes of Benedict Cumberbatch to sort of guest star, just to sort of open up the minds, and open up the possibilities with the whole multiverse thing is enticing as well. But this one is the one I'm looking forward to. It's almost
and Loki.
I'm not a big fan of Loki. I know you're a bigger fan of the actor as well, John, but I don't know if there's enough story. There will be enough story, John, but
he's back to that sort of this devious version of the
something
character.
We've already seen. That's why it doesn't appeal to me as much. Listen, I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to kid myself on. I'll watch it because it's it's an MCU television series. But for me, it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier, just because of the chemistry between these two characters. It's something that I really want to see. I want to see it more fleshed out. And if the Mandalorian's into the go by with pacing, and giving these characters time to develop and time for the audience to really
what you need to remember,
reach out, and really relate to, I can't wait.
What you also have to remember, though, Stephen, is they're not introducing these guys like they introduced also the Mandalorian. So
no,
you don't have to bog it down
fresh,
in terms of an origin, giving them some sort of introduction. You can go right into it. But I agree with you with the pacing. It's slower and it's longer form, so that's why I'm happy with this. It's almost like 3 movies. And you get to tell the story over a different
Don't
medium.
get me wrong though, John. I think the action's going to be frenetic. I think it's going to be like that from the kickoff. I think that's going to be the opening scene. You're just going to have balls to the wall action right away. Some 5-10 minute, maybe not 10 minute, 5 minute sequence. It's just crazy. I
hope it's not a 29-minute long running time like the Mandalorian. 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think
just a little bit longer.
Yeah,
and the fact he's saying 68 hours tells me that it is going to be closer to the hour mark.
Yeah,
if it's maybe 8 episodes. So that, or maybe 6 with a longer.
You probably find Lucasfilm are probably just. I'm back, right? Okay. Yeah. I just think that maybe Lucasfilm, it's their first time going to live action with Star Wars. It's their first time with a character that no one really knows. They know about the Mandalorians, and their sort of backstory if you're really paying attention to that. But possibly that's the reason they kept it down to a 30-minute episode. It was just a really. It wasn't a tried and tested formula or anything like that point. So maybe season 2 might be extended with any luck.
And maybe the stories just didn't fit for longer format episodes. It's just enough, some would say. Stephen, final thing I would add, I do agree with you with Loki as well. It's perhaps maybe slapping the character in the face. Obviously what came before the development of that character. Where he came, he was becoming more and more,
and he's back
not humanised, but becoming a better, more
like Gamora,
cultured person. He was starting to side with Thor more and more. Maybe they had to reset because there was nowhere for that guy to go after that.
That's a good point.
But it's kind of hard to get back after on that journey with him. And I always found him funny on some level anyway, but it's kind of a slapping in the face to the character, and maybe people who'd invested in the character came back to day one again with him. But I'm sure it'll be balls to the wall crazy with him as well. It's exciting times.
Yeah, it certainly is. I cannot wait. But and I think Disney Plus needs it as well. I think I've exhausted everything I want to see on that streaming channel. This was always my fear with Disney Plus, because it's so niche. Was it going to be enough for more sort of adult orientated audience? We've got the MCU, we've got the Star Wars stuff, we've got National Geographic in there as well if you like your educational stuff, but we're in lockdown, so we've got more time to sort of digest all this stuff. So I've kind of exhausted it now. I've kind of took the foot off the gas with Disney Plus for the time being, but I'm pretty sure when these series are up and running, I'm going to be tuning back in. But
Absolutely.
We'll move on to our final topic, John. This is all about... there's going to be a new female-fronted Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and of course, people have opinions. Now, I'm not going to read all of the opinions that I did read on Twitter earlier. It's a bit of a mixed bag. Well, I'm saying mixed bag. It's more people that are probably more in the Johnny Depp camp. Don't think this is a good idea. And it's nothing to do with Margot Robbie or anything like that. But this movie is separate, John. This is the interesting thing. It's separate to the upcoming Pirates of the Caribbean reboot, which as of late 2019 was in early development with Craig Mazin and Ted Elliott. Currently, it's not clear whether or not Johnny Depp will be said to be, appearing in a reboot amidst ongoing legal trouble with ex-wife Amber Heard. Now, I will dance around that. I know you don't want to, but however, even though we don't know many plot details as of now, the Margot Robbie version will be a wholly original story with new characters. That is not a spin-off of the original. Now, I'm quite disappointed in a way because at first, when this news, I think it was over the weekend, it broke about Margot Robbie's involvement in this, and I already knew about Karen Gillan's involvement in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and I thought this sounds good. You've got two really first-class actors right away for this new version of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. But apparently it's not. It's a totally different spin-off thing altogether, and I don't understand the reason for that. Possibly, maybe somebody in the comment section can maybe clear this one up for us. But apparently, this is according to BuzzFeed. This is a wholly original story with new characters. It's nothing to do with the spin-off of the Johnny Depp one. So, what's your thoughts on this?
Stephen, I think the franchise is dead. That's what my thoughts are on it. It's been ever diminishing returns, and if you've not got Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow, then it's dead. It's dead in the water, if you pardon the pun, because it's the water.
Davy Jones' locker, yeah.
Yes, Davy Jones' locker. A lot of dead things happen. I seem to reanimate in Pirates of the Caribbean. For me, it's dead. It's finished. If you start flinging in all-female sort of casts and stuff, have they not learnt from the Ghostbusters 2016 movie? And look, I'm a big fan of Margot Robbie, and look, Christina Hodson is a pretty damn good writer. You look back at her resume, it's pretty impressive. Bumblebee, unforgettable, shot in. She worked on Birds of Prey, she actually wrote it. One thing I'd say about Birds of Prey, not a great movie, and underneath that mediocreness, if that's a word.
That's now.
Ewan McGregor's, I can't recall his name, Black Skull I think it was. He was such a 2D cardboard villain as well. It was terrible. It's a sort of misogynistic shithead of a guy. I thought we'd move beyond that in comic book movies and just movies in general. There's a certain standard demanded from audiences now that we should have, not now, that's a Scottish slang word. That we should have more nuanced 3D villains, not black or white grey. And you can understand their motivations and almost side with them for a bit, then they become so dark and devious and shitheads. I don't even know what words I'm making up here. More shitheaded, like. I'm trying to dance around profanities here. I like to fling in some swear words at times. I'm from Glasgow, I'm Scottish. It's very hard. But when they go too far over the line, then you start hating them again. It's like Thanos. That's the sort of gold standard for comic book movies now. That was terrible, man. So I don't want to see that getting introduced into this new Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I don't even want to see an all-female cast Pirates of the Caribbean movie, Stephen. It's a terrible idea. I don't recall. I'm not some historian when it comes to pirates, but I don't think there was many female pirates back in the day. John, it was a sort of male trade,
That crossed my mind as well. You'd not get the argument of Ghostbusters here. Pirates were real. They happened. But there was actually
scumbags.
Yeah, someone actually on social media made a good call in regards to it'd be great to see Margot Robbie and Johnny Depp, as lead characters in the next one.
Johnny has to be there.
Yeah,
and those two facing off, it would be great. I think there'd be great sort of charisma there. But Stephen, even with Johnny there, I just think the franchise is dead, man. Where more can you go?
I'm sure that I kind of fell away after the second one, so you know where I am with the franchise. But Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley did drop off, didn't he? And he continued doing them, didn't he?
Yeah.
So you can see where it's going. You can see where the franchise is going, and perhaps maybe Johnny Depp doesn't want to do any more of these either. I think he's done 4 of them or something. 5.
Stephen, I think he'd continue doing it till he was 70. I think it's the Amber Heard nonsense, the whole domestic abuse thing. And I don't really want to get into it either, but I've read both sides of the story, and I'm just going to come out and say I believe Johnny, because Johnny is... Anyone who's been a fan of this guy, you can get on board with the type of character he is. He's a sort of level-headed, chill guy. I'm not for a minute believing this shit that was says about him. And that's why when the whole stuff came out about Harry Potter and the Fantastic Beasts and whatnot, the furore over him being cast as Grindelwald, they didn't want him in. They don't want this abusive guy. I'm like, there's two sides to the story. I don't want to be sort of jumping the gun. And then when I heard Amber Heard, and I've just heard stories about it as well, Stephen, through very sort of sources and whatnot, on the internet albeit, she's not coming across as a very likeable person, so I'm siding with Johnny. I think it's because of that. I think some studios just cut their ties. It's Disney, they don't want controversy.
Yeah.
That's why he's not coming back.
If you're going to do it though, John, and it does look like they're going to do it. Karen Gillan.
I'm on board for that.
Yeah, I was excited about that.
That's decent. If you're going to take it off in a new direction, have Karen Gillan.
I would amalgamate the two ideas, I would. I think Margot Robbie and Karen Gillan in a Pirates sort of spin-off or whatever. I don't want to see a reboot. I don't want to see a continuation of the Johnny Depp stuff. Leave that alone. I think he's done what he's had to do in it.
A quasi-sequel.
Yeah, that's the terminology.
Same universe,
different
characters.
And it's interesting, somebody actually said as well on Twitter, Margot Robbie is playing Harley Quinn. She played Tonya Harding, Queen Elizabeth and Jane Porter. She might play Tinkerbell. And now she's going to play Barbie and star as Pirate in Pirate of the Caribbean. She truly has the range. And obviously she played Sharon Tate in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Great actor.
Very brief, but for what she did in that film, it was fantastic.
And what with Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street, she's a magnificent actor and a great producer as well. She's really starting to shine in the other side of the business, outside acting, showing she's really multi-talented. So look, I'm sure whatever she does, it will have a level of watchability just because she's in it, but it's not something I want to see. I don't want to see an all-female Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Give us a diversity, man. This is pirates. There was black pirates, there was Latino pirates, there was Spanish pirates, there was English, British pirates, there was all kinds. It was a great big melting pot of fraternity where everyone was welcome back in the day. If you were a scumbag full of skullduggery, then you were welcome. So get it all in, man. Give us a little bit of everything, with Karen Gillan leading and Margot Robbie being a sort of Keira Knightley, Orlando Bloom side character. I'm on board for that, but don't give us some crap continuation in the Johnny Depp universe without Johnny Depp and then a reboot a couple of years later.
You best believe in nightmares.
Yes, you're in one. We are in one, Stephen. We're living in one. But anyway, before I start doing my sort of Peter Mayhew Bristol accent, I think we'll wrap it up, Stephen, because I think we've got much more to add. I'm just going to do it there. You're marrying my tattoos, lad. That Bristol accent, that doesn't even sound like Peter, what do you call him? Stephen Merchant, or Bristol accent at all. So on that note, I will end, Stephen, while the going is good. What's you guys' thoughts? So I can't speak. I don't know what's wrong with me at the end of shows now.
You guys.
Hey, you guys. What are your guys' thoughts? I don't know what I'm saying. On the topics we spoke about today. Jennifer Hudson playing Aretha Franklin in this new Respect movie. Hey, you guys, what the hell? What is your thoughts on stuntmen? Should they be getting Oscars handed out to them for their hard work? Stunt people, yes, stunt men, stunt women. What's your thoughts on The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Anthony Mackie speaking about it being an 8-hour long sort of movie compartmentalised into a TV show? And do you think that we should have an all-female led Pirates of the Caribbean movie? Do you think that's a terrible idea, a great idea? What's your thoughts on Margot Robbie perhaps leading it. If you have anything to say at all about any of the topics that we touched upon on today's show, you can comment below. Let us know what your thoughts are down below in the comments section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, and you can subscribe to the channel if you want to see us speaking again about movie news. And if you do, then you'll see us again tomorrow. If you don't, then I'll bid you farewell.